Hey everyone, we are back for my live mini training for our Thursday session. I've been super pumped about doing these. I don't know if you guys are liking them, but I'm just gonna keep doing them and hopefully you find them useful. I have started uploading them to YouTube and sharing them there. I am really weird about YouTube though. Like I've had a public account before where like anyone can view your videos. So now I just found that strange and I'm not about that life. So I now made it so that only you can watch it if you have the link, but I am sure to reshare that with the posts in my stories or anytime I share about the mini training, I'll post the link with that for the YouTube video if you're not watching it in the Facebook group. So if you are catching this live, drop live in the comment below, or if you're gonna watch the replay or are watching the replay, let me know where you're watching it. Is it on Facebook or YouTube? That will really help me in the future about where should I create this to help everyone out the most. So that's definitely super helpful for me if you don't mind. But today we are going to be talking all about creatine versus protein powder. So for you fitness enthusiasts or those like super committed to their athletics in this group, you have probably learned about this already or have it part of your daily routine, or we have gone over it before. But I think this is really beneficial for those that don't know anything about it or where to start with supplements. And I thought it would be nice just to like go back to the basics and go over some of these things. So I'm gonna break creatine and protein down into 4 major differences to cover today. So digestion, timing, side effects, and types. I'll be honest, I'm probably not gonna go into like super deep dives because I like to keep these like relatively short. And to be honest, to me, supplements is like the peanuts of what you need to be focusing on for health, longevity, performance, and like aesthetics. So while the cannonballs are usually like the sleep, the stress management, your overall nutrition, your movement quality, things like that, supplements can still definitely be helpful and appropriate for some people, but we really like to stress like behaviors and lifestyle factors to help you. But it is important to know what the heck these things are all about. So let's just dive on in. Starting with digestion. So creatine goes directly into your bloodstream and absorbed by muscle cells and converted to creatine phosphate. That's how that is digested. Now, protein powder is broken down in the stomach and the small intestine and into amino acids, and I'm sure you've heard of those before too, and peptides as well, and then goes into the bloodstream where the body can use it for multiple purposes, right? So I think, again, will you ever need to know that? Does the mother of 3 trying to better herself need to know that? I don't know, but I think for those that want to learn more about it, it's important to know the basics, right? When it comes to timing, there is no specific requirement for either. I think there's a lot of confusion out there, but at the end of the day, like your overall daily protein intake is the most important thing. So that is superior to anything else, the amount of protein that you have within the day. I would say, especially with protein powder, use it at the most convenient time that it would be to have a powder over real whole food, right? Because we want to get most of our nutrients, whether it's a macro or micronutrient, from real whole food. So if you're going to have to revert to a powder form, use it where it makes the most sense, where maybe you're going to go like 6 hours without being able to heat up a meal or make a meal. A protein powder in a bottle might be a really, really clutch thing for you to have. So same with creatine, it depends on what kind you get. It is broken, it's made in different like textures, like there's definitely more specific names for them, and I don't know what they're called, but they're like, it's either sandy or like a little flaky. There usually is no taste. I do recommend making sure, I think it's always best to just get pure creatine, whatever kind you get, and we'll talk about the different types in a minute. But if you get like a creatine that has a pre-workout and BCAAs all combined, it's just like, ooh, it's like, what's really in there, you know? So it might be worth just getting the pure creatine. But depending on the texture, it's fairly easy to mix even with water, and there's no taste. So it's not gonna like gross you out or anything. Whereas with protein, you might wanna mix it with something. A lot of people use water, or I love coconut water to sweeten it up a little bit. But again, most convenient time and habit stack it, right? So if you're someone that drinks 8 ounces of water to start the day, maybe throw your scoop of creatine in there and call it a day, and then you're done. You don't even have to worry about it. So that would be nice. Or if you finish a workout and you're not gonna be able to get to a meal for 2 hours, maybe having a protein shake isn't gonna hurt, right? So if it's gonna help you not have to like backload your protein for the day, I'd say do it, right? Okay, and then leaning into side effects. So this gets like a little confusing, but I think will be super, super helpful in the long run. So creatine first. A lot of people can experience what they think is called bloating and diarrhea if you're not properly hydrated, right? And it's important to know, because verbiage is so important, and especially in this industry, creatine doesn't cause bloating specifically. It actually hyperhydrates the muscles, which makes them feel and appear more full. And this is very, very different from bloating. So I think it's important to know that. So if you do feel like that way, it's not bloating and it's doing exactly what you want it to. It means the supplement is working. And I think that although it might not be the most comfortable side effect, it's a good sign, right? So I would avoid also brands and marketing schemes that say, you know, buy this creatine, there's a no bloating effect. Well, then I don't really know if that's what I want, and it's not even bloating to begin with. So just be mindful and aware of that. When it comes to protein powder, some people might experience bloating, like true bloating and gas, and that tends to be more from having a sensitivity or intolerance or allergy. Most people don't realize that whey protein does have dairy in it, so a plant-based option might be good for you. So we'll go over the types of each, protein powder and creatine as well. So with protein powder, there's the whey that I just talked about, and there's 3 different options for that: isolate, concentrate, and hydrolysate. Then there's also casein and plant-based protein. Casein is just a more slow releasing protein, and a plant-based, again, is that option for people that have those sensitivities, intolerances, and allergies. The plant-based also can come in many forms too. I've seen like pea protein, I've seen egg white protein, and I'm sure there's a ton of other ones I'm not mentioning, but hey, if you guys have any good recommendations on that, drop it below, because I personally don't have to take a plant-based one, so I only know of 2 or 3 high quality sources. So if you guys like any that you're currently taking, drop it below to help out the rest of the crew in our group. And then when it comes to creatine, there are 4 different types: creatine monohydrate, ethyl ester, hydrochloride, and crealkaline. Wow, sorry, I probably butchered those, but bear with me. And like I said, I'm not gonna go into each one, but creatine monohydrate is superior, so that is the one that I usually recommend. And I am putting out a morning chalk up article with any and everything you need to know about creatine, and I break down the differences between the types as well. That should be published in August, so be on the lookout for that. And I also am endorsed with Thorne, you guys. So, it's a very high quality supplement. I take it personally, and I recommend them to all of my clients, previous and current. I receive a 15% off discount. So if you're in the Facebook group, scroll up to the featured post to click on the website to receive the discount. If you're new here or watching it on YouTube, don't hesitate to drop a comment or DM me. All I will need from you is a first and last name and your email address. I'll send you an invite to make me your healthcare professional. and then you'll create a login account, and anytime you log in on the Thorne site, you will receive a 15% discount for the rest of your life, regardless if you're working with me or not. So I'm happy to hook you guys up with that. They offer both creatine and protein powder. I believe just creatine monohydrate with Thorne, and then also protein powder for whey comes in vanilla and chocolate. And I'm not sure about the plant-based options, but I think I've seen them in there before as well. So today, just to recap, we really tried to cover just the basics and like bare minimum understanding of digestion, timing, side effects, and types of creatine and protein powder. I did say I might mention dosage. Usually for creatine, it's about 5 grams a serving per day is plenty. More creatine does not equal more gains. So you don't need to like go ahead and try to put in 6 scoops of creatine to try to get more fitness gains. It ain't gonna work. So don't waste your money. Just stick to one serving a day. And then for protein powder, it's definitely depends on the person, which is never a sexy answer. But if I had to put it more in like a macro target guideline recommendation, I would say menstruating humans, 30 grams, master aged menstruating humans, or maybe not menstruating anymore, but females would be 40 grams of protein per serving, and then males or non-menstruating humans, 25 grams per serving for that protein powder. Okay, so let me know if you need to be hooked up with anything about Thorne, or if you have any questions below about the creatine or the protein powder. I'm happy to answer those. Or if you want to have another conversation about it, feel free to shoot me a DM, and I will talk to you next Thursday. Have a good rest of your day, guys.